Today's the final segment on stigma about mental illness on Mental Health Minute with Kim. In this final segment on stigma, I'm going to give you a few statistics. Then we're going to talk about ways that you can help fight stigma surrounding mental illness. And finally, I'm going to give you some websites that you can use to get more information about mental health and mental illnesses, and find out more myths that I didn't have time to discuss. So the statistics I want to give to you are that depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide at this time. Only 44% of people who have a diagnosed mental illness actually receive treatment for it, and that with some mental illnesses, the average length of time between diagnosis and treatment is 8 to 10 years. Now, there are a lot of reasons why people don't get treatment for mental illnesses. Maybe they don't have health insurance. Maybe they don't have enough health insurance, or their health insurance doesn't cover the kind of treatment that they need. Maybe they don't have access to resources in their area. Also, stigma. People are afraid to ask for help for fear that they'll be judged or looked at as less than or made fun of or any of that kind of stuff. So what can you do to help fight stigma surrounding mental illness? First and foremost, educate, educate, educate. The more education you have about mental health and mental illness, the better prepared you will be to fight stigma. Read about those different kinds of mental illnesses. Read about treatments. Read about signs and symptoms. If you have a loved one who has a mental illness, find out as much as you can about that mental illness. Help them stick to their treatment plan if you can. Make sure there's a crisis plan in place and help them stick to it, and learn the signs of a crisis if one occurs so that you can help them follow their crisis plan. Accept that mental illnesses are just as real as physical illnesses. Don't be scared of people who have a mental illness. Remember, they are more likely to be the victims of violent crimes than to perpetrate violent crimes. Be supportive and listen. And get support for yourself as well. If you have a loved one who has a mental illness, there are support groups out there so that you don't feel so alone. And remember your language. Mental illnesses are things. They are not descriptions. So a person is not borderline or bipolar. They have borderline personality disorder, or they have bipolar disorder. A person is not schizo or psycho. They have schizophrenia. When we use these terms as descriptions, we're just perpetuating negative and nasty stereotypes that add to the stigma and really stop people from getting help because they don't want to be viewed as that thing. People are not their mental illness. Hopefully you've gained some insight into stigma and ways that you can help fight stigma. Again, I'm going to put up some names of websites so that you can go there and educate yourself. And that's part of what this channel's about too, is helping to educate all of us about mental health and mental illness. I'll see you next week.